Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa.
Mr Chair.
Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Chair, Budget 2011 was good news for the 750,000 New Zealand school children and excellent news for all those thousands of children in early childhood education. I was interested to hear the Greens member say that this government had declared war on education. Well, I stand here as the Minister of Education, part of a John Key-led government that was elected into power at the end of 2008, and we did declare war. We declared war on poor results for kids in our schools. We said we are fed up with 10 years of standing back and watching while 20% of kids failed in our schools. In fact, those kids were failed by our schools. So we have put in an extra $4.4 billion into education since this government was elected. And we are spending this year more than any government has ever spent, $12.2 billion this year on education. It is a major plank for this government. And what does that actually provide? Well, it was interesting to hear from the opposition over here their poor maths. They obviously can't read budget documents because we have provided a cost of living increase on top of roll growth. Now, we had that in the estimates. I tried again and again to explain to the opposition that they were two separate figures. They didn't coincide. They weren't in the one, but we still have difficulty, and we get it here in the House today. But we are putting an extra $550 million into early childhood education. We have increased the spend on early childhood education by 38% since we became government. And that is an increase. That is an increase. There haven't been cuts to early childhood education funding. We have increased the funding. And we have, but more importantly, we have increased the number of places. So we have targeted 3,500 more places for Māori, Pacifica and children from poorer backgrounds to get access into early childhood education, because they're the ones that we want to make sure that get those good services. And we have said 80% qualified teachers in our teacher-led services. We've said we want everyone to have 80%, not just a few over here having 100%. We want everyone to have 80% qualified teachers and teacher-led services. But at the same time, we value our parent-led services. This government has shown, in contrast to the previous, that we value parent-led services. So what else have we done to try and affect better education results for young people? $51.5 million in this budget for the network upgrades. That's upgrading schools' infrastructure so that as the fibre broadband is rolled out past their gate, they are capable of connecting into that and then using that modern technology that our youngsters are so used to using and that we need in order to keep up with the 21st century type of learning. The $66 million that was bandied around about national standards is actually for the youth guarantee. See, they can't even read the budget. Whoops. This budget had $7 million in it for national standards, and despite what they might say, 400 schools haven't refused to submit their charters. In fact, we're probably down to a couple of hundred. Out of 2,000, actually, that shows how many Labor-led schools there are who are promoting this. We are not going to comply with the law. But the rest of them are getting on with it and doing very well. No more do we have parents getting reports saying this child is a delight to have in the class, because actually it isn't labelling a child if you say this child is strong in this area, but actually we need to do a bit more work over in that area, and you can help by doing this, and we're going to do this. And that's what national standards are about, making sure that children progress as they need to, so that when they reach high school they can read and write and take part in that wonderful national curriculum. So we put $7 million into the national standards to support those wonderful leaders out there in the education sector who have picked up national standards and are running with them, and we want to spread that good practice. I want to make special mention of my two associates. Before I do that, Alt Ed languished under Labor for 9 years. Second year running, we have increased the funding for Alt Ed, Mr. Chair.
The question is that vote education stand part. Those as part of the schedule. Those who have that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that vote education review office stand part of the schedule. Those who are of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that vote arts, culture and heritage stand part of the schedule. Those who are of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that vote Attorney General stand part of the schedule. Honourable Clayton Costello.